Hi folks, I hope you're well. So we're just going to look at this little topic here, referred to as quartiles and box plots. So some of you may have heard it before, others not. So we're just going to dive straight in there. Like it's saying there, we did look at different types of averages. There's many, but we only looked at three, and one of them was referred to as the median. Um, and so that seemed to be the kind of middle place value. They're saying an ordered data set. Ordered data set, we're going to be dealing with numbers here. So that's just a list of numbers. So I'm actually going to bring up the notes uh, that you should have with this stuff here. So yeah, basic stats. So yeah, just going through. Yeah, so that's it. Types of average, mean, mode, and median. Looked at mean. Yeah, mode. But the one we're interested in here is the median. Okay, and it's the middle place value. So I'm stopping there because there's two things that we have to be aware of. Is it an odd number data set or an even number data set? So odd numbers, we're talking things like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, just add 2, and you know what happens here. Even, technically you're starting at 0, but that means you have no numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. So just this is just a little um, reminder. So there you go, get a data set there, and let's see. So I'm just giving you it there. This data set here, the thing is, it has to be well ordered. Those numbers are not in order, so you either go from the biggest number down to the smallest, or the smallest up to the biggest. That's up to you. So we're just going to reorder those here. Okay, so they're in order. So when we're dealing with an odd data set, you'll always end up landing on a number exactly. So let's see. Uh, Here we're saying, what's the median position? Well, n plus 1, what's n? Well, that's the number of numbers in your list. So what have we got? I'm just counting, there's 7. So 7 add 1 is 8. Divide by 2, you get 4. So we'll land in the 4th position. But if you've only got a few numbers, you can always just count in. Okay, so that is definitely the median of this list of numbers. Okay, um, so if in doubt, just go back to that set of notes and just go through it and just remind yourself. Right, so that was odd. We'll land on the number exactly. Let's go through. Even data set. Is it in order? No, it's not. So let's order it. So we're just going to go from the smallest, whatever that is. So 30 up to whatever the biggest is. Oh, it's 40. They're sitting together there. Right. So we've got them in order. How many have we got? Looks like I've got 10 numbers there. So that means I'm going to have 5 either side. Okay. Uh, so, and what they're saying here, put in a line or some kind of mark, and it's after, to the right of position n over 2. So that's 10 over 2 for us. So it's just to the right of the 5th number. So between 5th and 6th position here. Right. So that's what I've got there. And what I've done is I've bracketed off the two numbers either side of that little line there. Well, the central kind of number, the median, what number would lie between 33 and 34? It does not have to be in your list. Okay, you're finding a central position here. So common sense would tell you halfway between 33 and 34 is 33 and a half. If in doubt, just add those two numbers up and divide by 2, and that'll give you the median of this data set. So that was just a little reminder on finding medians. So we're going to go back here, and we won't be just looking at one median, okay, but we'll need to find that initially. So let's go in here. So what I'm going to do, this might seem confusing at, at the outset. Okay, but I'm just going to use little crosses here, little kisses to represent the numbers. Sometimes the numbers get in the way. Right, okay, so here we have got, I'm going to count them, an odd data set here. So odd data set means 9 numbers. We're going to land bang on a number. Right, so we're going to be exactly in the middle here. So that would be the median of this group here, whatever number it is. Right. Here, we've got a set of numbers here, and 10. 10 is even. So here, we're going to land between two numbers because it's 10, 5 either side, just like one of the examples earlier. Right. Okay, so that's what they're showing you there. We're 5 either side, put in a little line and see the number to the left and to the right immediately of that little squiggle. We're going to take the average, the arithmetic average or the mean of those two. Right, so that's what they're doing here. Just taking the common average. Okay, add them together, divide by 2. Right. Don't worry about all these x's. We're going to have numbers. Right? We're just trying to get locations here and the method across to you. Right. Okay. So this sort of big line, that is just a list of numbers here. And we're going to be cutting that list of numbers up. That line is continuous. It's just so that we can get this method across to you. So we're going to be cutting things. And see that word quartiles? Well, quartiles, that's kind of like quart, maybe coming from quarter. I think that's actually the root of this word here. So we're going to be dividing things up maybe into 4 distinct parts here. One list of numbers. Right. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. With this line here, we will be able to split it into 4 equal parts. But see, with lists of numbers, they don't always agree, but we're trying to get as close as possible. Okay, let's split it into 4 equal parts. So how many cuts do we need here? Well, there's the first one right in the middle. Okay, and since we want equal parts, either side of that line, I think we need another split exactly in the middle of the one on the left and the one on the right. So it looks as if just by using those 3 cuts, I have split it into 4 equal parts. Right, so we only needed 3 cuts. The location of the cuts, they're going to be numbers, and their numbers come from sort of median calculations. Okay, so these numbers that we're going to look for eventually, they're referred to as the quartiles. So and there's 3 of them, so we refer to these as the 3 quartiles. Right. Okay. Here we go. So the one on the left, we refer to it as the first quartile, or Q1. The one in the middle, which is the median as well, we refer to that as Q2. And the one on the right, we refer to that as Q3, or the third quartile. Right, so there's 3 quartiles. These are just going to be numbers for us that we derive from the list. Right, okay. Just to emphasize again, the Q2, it doubles up as the median, because that's the one in the central position, okay, of the entire line, the entire list of numbers. Well, Q1, it's actually the median of the lower half of the data, or the left-hand side as it appears here. Okay, so we are looking at medians in a way, but it's of a subgroup. Okay. And Q3, it's the median of the upper half of our list of numbers, or the right-hand side. So essentially, we're kind of finding one median, then looking left and right, so that we can get kind of 2, well, medians really, of left and right. So we've got the 3 values there, Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay, so we're just going to go through how to obtain the quartiles without any numbers. because depending on how many numbers you've got, there's different ways to split it up. Initially, when we just looked at obtaining the median, it all depended, was it an odd set of numbers or an even set of numbers? So that's going to kick in here because we're really finding three, well, one true median and two kind of pseudo medians. Okay, right, that's fine. Right, what are they talking about? Even split here. Well, here, if you count all the little crosses, am I going to have to count these? I think I've got 12. So 12 is an even number, so that means I'm going to have a split between two of the numbers. You would just take the average there of both the numbers there. But before we do that, we'll get 6 either side. So that's why we're definitely between numbers, okay? Because initially it's even. Okay, 6 either side. So we get Q2 in there. Okay, that's the median. We would take the average of those two numbers either side of the line. That's right. And we're now going to look at the left. Okay, and because it's 6 is even, so we're landing between two numbers, and we can see there's 3 either side. It doesn't matter that 3 is odd here. It was the fact we had a 6, so the split goes between two numbers. Okay, so that's Q1. And on the right hand side, again we've got 6 numbers, so we're going to have 3 either side. That's fine. But the important thing is we're going between two numbers. Okay. So, and that would be our third quartile there. Okay. So they're referring to this as even split because initially we had 12, it was even. We split it between two, then we had 6 either side. 6 is even, and we did the same. So that's why this is even. Okay. There's going to be 4 kind of different scenarios here. Even, odd split. Because even comes first, just telling you in the list there, it's going to be an even set of numbers here. So it looks like I've got 10 numbers there. So 10's even. We're going to go between two numbers, 5 either side there. And you'd work out the average, the arithmetic average of those two numbers. That would be Q2 or the median. Okay. Right. So looking to the left-hand side, there's 5 numbers there on the left-hand side. 5 is odd, so we're going to land bang on a number. So it looks like a third position here. Okay. And other side, we've got 5 numbers, which is odd. So we'll just replicate what happened here. We'll land bang on a number. Okay, that was Q1. Just sort of saying here, we're going to land bang on a number on the right hand side. That's Q3. So initially it was even. So Q2 was between two numbers. Once I'd done that, and 5 either side, which is odd, so I'd land bang on a number for Q1 and Q3. Right. Oh, odd split. So it looks like we've got an odd set of numbers here. Looks like we've got 11. 11's odd. You're going to land bang on a number in the middle. Okay. If that's the case, you're hitting it directly. So that is Q2. Okay. We're now going to look to the left and the right hand side of Q2. We do not include Q2 in either side because there's a danger of double counting. Okay. So we ignore that and we just look at the left hand side and the right hand side. Okay. On the left hand side, we get 5 numbers. Okay. 5 is odd. We're going to land bang on a number. That's Q1. On the right hand side, exactly the same with 5 little crosses there. So that means we're going to land bang on one of them. So in the odd split, we're hitting bang on 3 numbers here. Okay, I think we'll get one last scenario here. Let's see. Yeah, odd even split. Right, I managed to fit in 13 little crosses here. So 13's odd. So I'm going to land bang on a number. Well, which position? 13's, it's quite a high number. Well, you just add 1 to it, get 14 and divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 gives you 7. So we're going to hit bang on the 7th position. Or you could count in either side. Okay. Right, we're looking now left hand side and right hand side of Q2 there. So that's what we're doing here. Left and right of Q2. and we don't include it because we've landed bang on that there. We do not include that. So how many numbers have we got either side, or little crosses? 6 is a quick check. 6 is even. So that means on the left hand side, 6, you'll have 3 either side. So we're landing between two numbers. Those two numbers, add them together and divide by 2, and it's going to give you the first quartile, Q1. That'll be the same on the right hand side. You're going to land between two numbers, take that average, arithmetic average, and that'll be your third quartile. Right, so we went through the 4 scenarios there. I did it without numbers there because sometimes they just get in the way. Right, so hopefully we can soon bring in some numbers and see how it goes. Right, here we are. They do mention or determine the quartile values, but before that they're saying the maximum and minimum, so the biggest and smallest. That should be okay. Just make sure your numbers are in ascending, descending order, smallest to biggest, or vice versa. It looks like these are. So first thing, apart from checking them in order, I'm going to count how many I've got. Right, it looks like I've got 9 numbers here in this data set. But then it's telling us we're going to construct a thing called a box plot, because that was the title at the start, quartiles and box plots. Okay, let's go through it here. I've got 9 numbers. Right, so we said that was odd. So let's get about going getting these quartile values. So odd, 9 numbers, add 1, get 10 divided by 2, so it's going to be the 5th position here. So count in from either side if you're unsure. Yep, you would hit that number bang on from either side. So that number is a median, or Q2. We will refer to that as a quartile value. Right, so we do not include that when we look left and right here. So we're interested in finding how many numbers have we got left and right, and where would their little kind of median be. Oh, so on the left hand side there, I'm emphasising with those 2 lines, we're not including that value. Okay, we're not including it on the left. Here we go. Yep, how many numbers you got? Is it odd or even? There's 4 digits here. Okay, 4 numbers. It's even, so we're going to land between 2 numbers here. In this case, it's between 5 and 7. So the kind of little median of this group here, what number would lie between 5 and 7? So if in doubt, just add them together and divide by 2, and that will be your first quartile. And common sense would hopefully tell you what number lands between 5 and 7, and hopefully 6. So that was the left hand side there, that's our first quartile. Let's jump across to the right hand side, going to do exactly the same. 4 digits again, you're going to land between the central 2, I've highlighted there. So what number lies between 13 and 14? Hopefully common sense would tell you 13.5, 13 and a half. If in doubt, add them together and divide the result by 2. Okay, so that's what we've got there. 13 and a half, that seems to fit exactly between 13 and 14, so that's Q3. Right, so it looks like we've got our 3 quartile values here. So the only other things that we were looking for, they asked us to determine 2 other things, like the maximum and minimum value here of the list. So it's just a case of looking left or right, or identifying them in some way. So the minimum's 3 and the maximum's 17 here. So it looks like we've got 5 numbers here. So but now this is the numbers we need to construct the box plot, or a box plot. See that original list of numbers? We don't need that anymore. We have extracted the 5 values of interest. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get a little number line here. So we're constructing some kind of graph, so we need some reference numbers. So as long as we've got enough numbers on the scale here, that will enable you to fit all your numbers in. So just think about your minimum and maximum values there. So as long as it can fit in 3 to 17? Well, 3 is very close to 0. That's why I started at 0. And 17, I could have stopped at 17, but I just went up to 20. Just so I was comfy that everything can get fitted in here. Okay, so first thing we do, we're going to take our first quartile and just put a line in above where 6 would be on your number line. So that looks fine. I don't have graph paper here. Maybe I should have had graph paper to make it a little more accurate, but we don't always have graph paper lying about. So that's my first quartile. This is a thing called a box plot. A box plot. So here, that is Q1, the left-hand side of the box. The right-hand side of the box, that's the upper quartile, or Q3. So Q3, what was that? 13.5, something like that there. So just go along the number line to wherever 13.5 is and put in a line parallel to Q1, okay, on the level with it. Right, so we get Q1 to Q3. That looks okay. And these are two sides of a box. We need another two sides. So that's what I've got there. Within that box, Q2 exists somewhere. So from memory, I think Q2 is 9. So I'm just going to go to position 9 on the number line, just to the left of 10. But inside the box, just put in a line at 9, and that's Q2. Right. Sometimes the line might be closer to the left-hand side or the right-hand side. So it's not always kind of bang in the middle. Although it's called the median, it's not always kind of bang in the middle graphically of the box. Right, there's two other numbers here, and that was the minimum and maximum. What happens here, see from the left hand side, I'm just going to go to my minimum, but we go kind of centrally from the middle of the box, and we just take a line out. Sometimes these are referred to as box and whisker plots. So we'll just take a line out there. I didn't know a box could have whiskers. Maybe like cat's whiskers or something like that. I don't know. So go get out to whatever 3 would be in the number line. Okay, so 3 is about there. And just to emphasise it, they usually cap it off with a little line kind of going down towards. So they just capped it off there. Okay, we're going to do the same on the right hand side. On the right hand side, I'm just going to come out from the centre of the box where Q3 is located. Come out centrally, and what's the value? Was a maximum value? 17. Right, going to go up to 17. Okay, up to 17, and are you frozen? No. Yep, and again up to 17. That looks like a dangerous syringe, so we're just going to do what we did on the other side. We're just going to cap it off there. So that's capped. Okay, and those little labels there, they were just for construction purposes, no the minimum, maximum, and the Q values. I've just put them in. At the end, you would just get rid of them. And if this data represents something, you put in some kind of title there. So like it's saying, that's the end product here. Okay. Right, this one's for you. Can you go and do this and construct a box plot? So if you just pause the video there and just have a little go at that. Did you have a go? Okay, let's see. Or maybe not. Right, there's my list of numbers. Is it even or odd? That's what we're looking at here. 8 numbers, which is even. So it looks like we're going to land centrally in the list between two numbers, 4 on either side. Okay, so between 27 and 30, and find the arithmetic average, add them together, and divide by 2. So it's that 57 over 2. Is that going to give you 28.5, I think? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, I'll use my scratchy pen there. So that's the median, or Q2. Right, we've found that, that's fine. So just go and park that on the side. We're going to need that for the construction of our box plot. Now let's look either side. And 4 digits either side, so that means even. We're going to land between two numbers. Okay, between 22 and 25, and between 35 and 36. Add them both together separately and divide them by 2. So it looks like that. If the number comes out, so see on the left hand side, if your number came out like 29.23, you've done something wrong. So go back and check it. And the easy one to check here is the one on the right hand side, Q3, which number lies between 35 and 36. Well, that is indeed 35.5. Right, go and park them up next to Q2. We've got the 3 quartile values there. So it's only up 2 other things we need, the smallest number and the biggest number, the minimum and the maximum. Got them there. Okay, that's the 5 numbers that we need in order to obtain our box plot. Okay, just put them in quarantine for now. So sometimes you'll see these referred to as a 5-figure summary. Right, let's go and get a box plot from this. Sort out the scale. My smallest number is 20, so there's no point going all the way back to 0. My biggest number was 42, so I've just, because I'm going up in 5s here for whatever reason, just depends on your scale. So I went up to 45. That's manageable. 42 is quite close there. So I'm going to use Q1 and Q3 for either side of the box. I'm just going to put an entire box in here going from Q1 to Q3. Right. So they're at 23.5 and 35.5. So Q2 was at 28.5. So just come up from your number line from position 28.5, put in a little line, and that's Q2, the median. Okay, that's fine. Let's go and get our minimum and maximum values. So go down to 20 for your minimum here, and go up to the maximum of 42 here. That's fine, and that's your end product there. Okay, and if this referred to something, you'd have a little title. So you can see I've got rid of those numbers there. Those numbers, they were just involved to help me construct, or help you construct the box plot. Okay, so that looks fine. You rarely see box plots on their own. They usually come in pairs or 2 or more in terms of comparison. And that's what they're just saying here. They don't offer a great deal of information here. But we can look at certain things. So we'll get 2 box plots here, and they'll come up with some topic, so we can carry out comparisons. Right. So what we've got here is 2 classes, Class A and Class B. I'm assuming, because I made it up, they've done the same class exam, and these box plots represent the results. So here, let's make 2 comments in relation to the 2 groups above. So what kind of things can they take from the box plots? Let's see. Let's just go and have a little look here. The median of Class A. The median. Where's the median? Median of Class A. That's the line in the centre of the box. The median of Class A is greater than that of Class B. You could actually go and get the figures here or read them from the graph itself. So that's a valid comment there. We can see it. Right, that's why the box plots are sitting next to each other. So what else could we determine here from the box plot? The thing is, this could be the end product of something maybe at the end of a report. And instead of giving a person a big list of numbers to get them to do it all themselves, they can just look at the little graphs here and say, oh yeah, I agree with that, I can see it clearly. That's what they're showing me here. And what else could we look at here? Other things from the box plots that are maybe very apparent. The range of Class A is much smaller than that of Class B. Well, the range, that's just their biggest number take away the smallest number in the group, but we can see it graphically from the left hand side to the right hand side. Okay, so the range of Class A is much smaller. Okay, so that's the range of values there, and you can see Class B, it's taken up much more of the page. So that seems obvious there. So you can put in like values here. Okay, so whatever these were. Um, so class B kind of going from 20, and I think off the top of my head it's either 42 or 43. You can go back and look at that. So that's a difference of 23 or 22, whether I remember it correctly. Class A, we didn't have any values. I just inserted that. So the minimum of Class A, I'm going to say, is it's somewhere between 25 and 30. I'm just going to say 27. Okay, it's not the red line I'm coming down, it's the little black line. I'm going to say that's going from 27 up to a maximum. I'm just going to say that's 35. 35 take away 27. So that range would be 8. So 8 compared to 22 or 23 for Class B. Right? So graphically, that disagree there. So that's the kind of comments that you may be looking for here. Okay. Right. Here, if you can see it, we've got kind of two graphs here, box plots, box and whisker plots, graphing the track length of songs, or tunes, as you like to call them. So these tunes, let's see, hopefully you can see the questions here. On average, which genre of music has longer tracks, genre, the kind of music, and what it says on average. So let's see, can we answer that? Yep, so I've made it a little bit bigger here, so just be looking at it. What do you think here? On average, which genre of music has longer tracks? I'll let you answer it. Okay? It's not all about me, it's about you. So you have a little think about that. Here, right, so I'm zoomed in it even more. Compare the significance of a track length of 4.40 minutes. I'm just looking at this here. Um, the decimal part of the minutes, that's not in seconds. Okay, they've put in decimal here, but don't worry about that. Just think about the figure of 4.40. Think about that on the scale. So what do you think? You're comparing the track length of 4.40 minutes. So you're comparing metal with rap. I'll let you answer that. Okay. So there's other things that you could look at here. Or sometimes they do show you them like vertically. We don't have a subject matter here, but I'm just showing you, and we've got more than 2. But you can see we've got a maximum and minimum. We've got the box in the central with the 3 values, the 3 quartiles. We've got that there, that's fine. So here, what's this? Monthly cat versus dog video searches. Some people love cats and dogs and they just like watching videos. So you could look at that and answer certain questions. What things can you pick out here? Well, it looks like the dogs, like their maximum's up at 35, whereas the cat's on at 30. But other things you could find, we can see the median, so you could compare that, so the kind of average, overall average. So who's winning, cats or dogs? I'll let you answer that there. Oh, can you see that? I'll just blow that up there. And I still can't see that. Let's pick it up. Is it? Who's going to win? Cats or dogs? Okay. That looks so. Right. Cats or dogs? Are you a dog person or are you a cat person? Right. Are you a person? Right, folks, I think I'm going to leave it there. So we went through construction and looked at a little bit of interpretation. Sometimes I might speak about the interquartile range. That's just Q3 take away Q1. And that just gives you the portion in the box, okay, which is the kind of middle 50%. That's what it is there. Right. Oh, I went on for quite a long time there. So I'm going to leave it there. Um, but some courses love box plots, so hopefully that's okay. And just go back and have a little look at it again. Right. Bye for now.